welcome to episode 6 of Exploring East London's beaches. For this episode, we have ventured a bit further out of town and we are heading to a place called Chintsa West, which is a beach that is absolutely stunning. Let's go and explore this beautiful coastal, I wouldn't even call it a village, it sounds like a little enclave, and the beach that is located here. Alright, so as we said, we are in Chintsa West today for Explore East London's Beaches Part 6. Chintsa West is a place that I've been to quite a few times. Had a friend that had a holiday home out here and would come out for a weekend, and it is just pure natural beauty, and it is only 20 minutes outside of the city of East London. It's kind of considered East London, even though it is like an enclave, as I said. Outside the city where people live in absolute paradise. There's farms, there's horse riding here, there's horse farms, there's mountain biking, and of course the most beautiful beachfront. So episode 6, let's go and explore Chintsa West. Okay, this is the Mermaid's Deck, which is really cool. It's a beautiful little outlook. So we'll start here. Watch out for that, got to duck down. When you talk about living in a beautiful place that is absolutely paradise, it doesn't get much better than this. So as we've spoken, the further away from the original beach that we were at, Nahoon Beach, we get, the more rocky, the more rugged, the more sort of wild we get as we head along towards the Wild Coast, which is in that direction. Chintsa, as I said, is about 20 minutes drive outside of East London. So we've done Nahoon Beach, Nahoon Reef and Point. We've come to Blue Lagoon Beach. We've done Bonza Bay. And now we are even further. We did Ganubi. Now we're even further along the coastline, heading towards KZN, KwaZulu-Natal, which is in that direction. This beach is very, very special because it is so close to the city, and yet you may as well be just out in the countryside. Absolutely nothing around. There's a really cool restaurant here called the Chintsa Bay restaurant with the Jolly Roger pub, which has many good memories of a few nights spent enjoying time with friends. Yeah, I absolutely love this place. It's probably one of the most peaceful places on earth, and if you're ever feeling a bit stressed, this is where you want to come. If you live in this area, come here, clear your mind. So we had rock pools in the other beaches, but I think they were very small compared to these rock pools. Just have a look at this. So again, another tidal pool, which is a big thing on this part of the coast. In summer, a lot of the kids will come down and swim while mums and dads are suntanning. Dads are fishing on the rocks over here. It really is just it's a paradise, and it's the kind of place that for holidaymakers it is fantastic. But to live here, can you imagine living here and just having this as your backyard? Like, well, woke up early this morning, had my coffee, take the dogs for a walk along this beautiful beach. So Chintsa is split into two sides. There's Chintsa West, that's where we are today. I'll take you to Chintsa East in a new episode. And of course, Chintsa West and Chintsa East. Chintsa East is where the village is, like the actual little town, the little Chintsa town. Chintsa East is absolutely stunning. It's home to beautiful seaside holiday accommodation like Crawford's, which is a fantastic place. I need to talk to Mark, who owns the place, or his family owns it, and see if I can get in there and film just how beautiful that venue is. And then of course there's a couple of really cool restaurants. There's the bowling green, the tennis club, and they have a market that is operates once a month that I've been to. That is so much fun. It's very old school, little stands, there's live music, you buy everything there. Nothing is commercial or new. They try and limit the amount of sort of plastic toys from China, and they make sure it's all handcrafted stuff. So it really is absolutely beautiful. Here in Chintsa West, you've got this little community with, I suppose you can't really call them townhouses, but small homes, like cluster homes, with the restaurant and of course the beautiful beachfront. Rumor has it you can literally go all the way from Nahoon, where we were, all the way along this beach, and if you walked and you crossed a couple of rivers, you would eventually get here, and then you'd go even further. You can see it just goes further on. Morgan's Bay, Kymouth. I'll take you out there, exploring East London's beaches, technically just outside East London. Super windy day today, but the common theme here on this part of the coastline of South Africa in the Eastern Cape, as you get closer to the wild coast, is sand dunes, massive sand dunes. Just part of the whole sort of way this coastline is presented, and lots of driftwood as well, as the ocean carries wood from around the world and deposits it here onto the beachfront. A bit of rock climbing. This is not a good thing for a clumsy person. All right, so the rest of the beach goes that way, but it's very rocky, and I'm out here on my own, so I don't really feel like falling over and being stuck. But it does stretch all the way up there. And on a good day, when the tide is a bit further out, you can actually walk along there when the tide's a bit further out, and you can go all the way around the point on the other side and explore what Chintsa West has to offer. Glenmuir down that way as well, sunrise on sea, just absolutely stunning beachfront. Very rugged, as you can tell. So I once remember coming down here with my dog. She was a spaniel, and the tide was a bit further out, and she was chasing a seagull, and she ran through the water to that rocky outcrop over there. And then the tide started to come back in and I had to run out and get her and try not to get too wet myself. Needless to say, the spaniel and I had quite an interesting discussion after that. So when I was in France, in Jeremia, which if you haven't seen that video, the link is here, I was talking about how beautiful France is and just how stunning the countryside is. It's the Lake District in the northeast of France. But every time I come back home to South Africa, firstly, the people are awesome. The guy at border control in Johannesburg at the OR Tambo airport is just, hey, welcome home, you know, and you feel really good about it. But coming to the countryside, and I'm loving this Beach Explore because it gives me an opportunity to really get out into nature, do a little bit of exercise, go for a walk, but also just to remember how stunning South Africa is. If you think about it, South Africa has mountains like they have in Europe, Drakensberg, Western Cape, beautiful mountains, Outeniquas, fantastic. We've got game reserves, Kruger National, Addo, Kukui in KZN, that have the most incredible bushveld and wildlife. And then we've got the beaches. This is a beautiful country. We're very lucky to live here. And if you've never visited South Africa, everyone talks about the crime, but I believe every country has crime. You can come to South Africa, particularly if you're from Europe or you have euros or US dollars, you can come to South Africa for a fraction of what it'll cost you to go anywhere else in the world and live like a king and witness the most beautiful country, I reckon, in the world. So Chintsa West, which is where we are now, Chintsa East is just across the river up that way, and also rugged, beautiful beaches. You can see down there, there's a little bit of smoke down there, not sure what's going on. Chintsa West roughly in that direction there. Some of the hotels and the holiday accommodation that I'm talking about, they basically look straight on to the beach. They've all got private access to the beach. There's a place called Prana Lodge, which is a 5-star lodge, just really luxury. I have done a video about that, so if you go and search in my playlist, you'll find a video about Prana Lodge. Just absolutely beautiful massages, spa treatments. We had drinks overlooking the beach as the sun went down. There's also a new golf course development in East London called Olivewood. Well, it's not that new. I suppose it kind of opened after I left the region and moved to KZN. And it's back now. Well, it's open now. It's an estate, so there is homes on the property, which I can only imagine. Oh gosh, here we go. Tide is coming in, guys. Look at that. So it has a beautiful 18-hole golf course. I have to say, I think it's probably one of the most difficult golf courses in the region, purely because it's very undulating up and down. The holes are really tough. The rough is really thick. The bush is very African. So there's that, but it also has stunning restaurant, accommodation, and as I said, the estate. Olivewood, that's another venue that I'd like to take you into, if they'll allow me, and just to show you some of the facilities that it has. So one of the things I love about the Eastern Cape beachfront, particularly sort of from Port Elizabeth, now known as Quebec, all the way through past Port Alfred, East London, and then heading out this way, is this miles and miles of unspoiled beach. I mean, you could literally go for a walk. You could walk 10 Ks, you could walk 5 kilometers in any direction and walk back, unimpeded. No hotels, no city buildings, no traffic, just walking along the beach and enjoying nature. We don't do that enough, do we? Don't get into nature enough. We're constantly on devices, locked in our TV rooms, and just not enjoying what nature has to offer. And nature in South Africa has a lot to offer. don't know if you can see this. It says Louisa Hendrick Green, 26 December 2017. Ma, Omar, and best friend, you will always be with us. That's a beautiful memorial. Obviously, this was one of her favorite spots to come. So I think if you want to, put a comment down in the comment section down below if you dare me to get a sandboard on one of my videos to climb up to the one on the top of these dunes and sandboard down. It's not something I would naturally do, but if you dare me to do it, I might just do it. That's the best seat in the house. Very similar to one I saw in Greece. When I went for a run in Greece, there was like a bar chair stuck into the rocks, and I called that the best seat in the house. But I think this one might be better. Let's have a sit in it. So Chintsa West is part of the Chintsa area. It's officially spelled CHINTSA. So Chintsa is the Xhosa pronunciation with the click. And it is probably one of the most stunning parts of the Eastern Cape sort of coastline. I don't know if I mentioned this to you, sort of the vegetation changes subtly as you leave from from Nelson Mandela Bay, Port Elizabeth, and you come along the coastline. On the other side, the Cape Town side of Port Elizabeth, there is a lot of fynbos and Western Cape kind of vegetation, and the closer you get this way, the more the vegetation becomes a little bit more subtropical, a little bit different. And then of course as you come past East London and the more you get towards KwaZulu-Natal, comes a lot more KZN vegetation, subtropical, warmer climate, less of that fynbos, that very, very delicate bush that you would find in the Western Cape. So South Africa really has a selection of different countryside, different geography, different vegetation, different views, different climates. This is a beautiful country. I love being from this country. Okay guys, super short walk today because of the tide conditions blocking it off on either side with the rocks. Not going to be able to get through. But this is Chintsa West Beach. What an absolutely stunning, stunning beachfront. Again, I say that all the time, but let's be honest, this part of the coastline has probably some of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. Hey, thank you for watching. I'm really grateful. And thank you to all of the subscribers who've been joining us. We've got close to 3,000 subscribers now. I'm really excited about that. If you like the video, please give it a like. If you like what we do, and there's a variety of stuff that we do, we don't just do exploring, we also do travel, Ironman and events coverage. Have a little bit of a fitness channel or playlist all about trying to get me lazy fitter. If you like what we do, give us a subscribe. It's always appreciated. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.